So I think that this topic is going to be one of the most important topics that I cover in this class. And I think that it is not only a crucial element to developing when you're trying to develop psychically, but it is also a necessity. And that is the area of psychic self-defense. When you are trying to develop psychically, you are opening yourself up to all kinds of energies, all kinds of vibrations, and you don't want to make yourself so accessible or so open that you are not only inviting in the things you'd like to experience, but also some of the stuff you don't. In my earlier years, I went through several periods of development, and during those periods of development, I had some experiences that literally scared the living daylight out of me. So I don't want you to have to go through the same experiences. I don't want you to have to go through the same stumbling blocks. So this topic is going to be about psychic self-defense and how to align and protect yourself from energies that you really don't want to have to interact with. One of the cornerstones of this class is to understand psychic phenomena. Not only are you here to develop psychically, but you are also needing a reference, a guidebook for the different types of phenomena that you are going to encounter. And that is what this class is all about. Not only is it prepping you for developing and showing you how to develop and use your psychic ability, but it's also giving you a framework for understanding different circumstances and experiences and phenomena within the psychic world or psychic realm. So we will cover more of those as time progresses in the class, but let us begin with the essentials in understanding why you need to psychically protect yourself from negative or lower level energies. Think of it this way. Let's say you decided to open your front door, the front door to your home, whether it's a house, whether it's an apartment, doesn't matter. And you open that front door and then you put out a sign in the front of your home that said, everyone and anyone is welcome to come in and enter my space. So that is what essentially you are doing when you are opening yourself up to develop. The moment that you decide you want to psychically develop, you are sending out that kind of invitation. And anything and everything that is aligned with your psychic senses is going to come in and have an effect on you. So it's very important to align yourself with the higher level energies or with the higher frequencies versus the lower level energies. I mean, we're going to deal with ghosts. We're going to deal with spirits. We're going to deal with all kinds of different experiences. Some of them may be scary, and if you don't understand what some of this phenomenon is, then it's going to cause you to shy away or to pull back and not want to develop or go forward in your development. So we're going to cover some basics as far as what you can do to protect yourself and to align yourself with the right kind of energy, with the right kind of experiences. And this isn't a 100% fail-proof system, but it has worked for many, many years, not only for myself, but also for other psychics and mediums in the industry. Before any session, before any appointment, I go through this routine, this process of not only protecting my own energy, but raising by my vibration, raising the energy of my space. Even if it's a phone or a video call, I have to still work on clearing out the energy in the space around me, because I am that magnetic being that is creating energy in that space that I am practicing my abilities in. So regardless of whether I'm interacting with someone in person or whether I'm doing that on my own, you still have to protect yourself. You still have to take measures so that you can have the best experience possible. One of the most important ways and easiest ways for you to align yourself with better energy, with higher vibrations, is simply through meditation. We are going to go through several meditations in this class, and I'm going to cover one with you shortly. But meditation is essential and it's crucial because it is a way for you to take your intention, to align your intention with what it is you're trying to produce, with the results you're trying to achieve for yourself. So meditation is one of the easiest ways to align yourself with the right kind of energy, with the right flow of energy, so that you can have the best experience possible. Another very common and widely used practice is smudging. In many different cultures, including Native Americans and South American Indians and, all across the world, different cultures use a form of smudging, or what we call the clearing away of energy using natural herbs and incenses and so forth. So for myself and for a lot of people in the psychic and mediumship communities, what we do is we smudge to clear away the energy, not only in the space that we reside in, but also in ourselves, because we want to keep ourselves clear. We want to be as clear a channel as possible. And smudging is one way of doing that. Now, most people use sage, which is the most widely used herb for smudging. I know in South American countries and even in Latin American countries, they use this stick or piece of wood called palo santo. The Roman Catholic Church uses copal or different types of incenses. So it just depends on where you're from or where you are and what you have access to. But if you can get a hold of sage, you can find it at any Whole Foods. I mean, they have it in the health and wellness section. You can go to any metaphysical bookstore and find sage. This is not the kind of sage that you find in the grocery store. So we're not talking about the sage that you find in your pantry in the grocery store. You have to find the bundle, which is this amount of sage that's wrapped around in like a bundle. Now, sometimes they sell it loose leaf. Sometimes they sell it in the form of incense. Sometimes they sell it in a bundle. I wouldn't suggest using the incense just because incenses don't seem to have as much effect as pure sage in a bundle. Now, I have heard of some people who have had great success with the incense that's known as dragon's blood, which is just a fancy name. Don't let the name put you off. But it's just a fancy name for a type of incense or a mixture of different types of incenses. But I prefer the full leaf sage bundle. I get it online, and you can buy it in bulk. You can get it on Amazon, honestly. It just depends what's local to you, or you can go online and get it on Amazon. But when you purchase your sage, you will essentially use it, you will light it, and you will basically use the smoke to permeate all areas of your home and yourself as well. Sometimes it doesn't smell so great. It can be a little overwhelming, which is why as soon as you're done, you want to open up doors and windows and let the air vacate, because even if there's negative or lower level energy in your space, you want to give it a chance to vacate the vicinity. So it's not like, smudging will dissolve or remove energy. It just simply shifts the energy in your space, in your home, and sends it in a different direction. So sage or smudging is another way for you to be able to clear out the energy of your home, the energy of your space, yourself as well, and keep yourself clear so that you can be a good channel. And if you want to know how to smudge, I would suggest going to my YouTube channel. I do have a video on how to smudge using different types of sage or different techniques. I also, there's plenty of them on YouTube. Even if you don't watch my videos, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that show you how to smudge using sage. So I would suggest you look into that and go ahead and practice your smudging techniques. Another great way to align with higher level energy or the right kind of energy is prayer and affirmations. Now, prayer and affirmations, I think, are hand in hand, and they essentially are the same thing. When you pray, you are aligning yourself with the energy through intention. So as you pray, you're asking for a certain kind of energy to enter into your life and to make itself accessible to you. And when you're opening up psychically, if you align yourself with higher level energy, you won't have to ask as often just because you'll naturally align with that. It will make sense. You'll naturally align with higher level energies on a regular basis. Affirmations are another way of aligning yourself up with the right kind of energy. So you just say what you intend, and then you believe it, you know it, you feel it, you are completely invested in that. Another great way to align yourself with good energy is by going and getting a Reiki session or learning how to do Reiki. When I was first developing, I had a friend who was a Reiki master, and she had continuously tried to get me to take Reiki or just to have a session. I didn't put much stock into it. I actually didn't buy into it. I didn't believe that, you could put your hands on someone, not really do anything, and then there would be a transference or an effect of energy shifting around or moving around. I didn't take that too seriously. And it wasn't until I came to a place in my own journey, in my own path, where I got a little desperate. I wanted to try anything and everything that could help me to move forward and develop psychically. So I decided to go ahead and have a Reiki session. And my first experience was interesting because I wasn't expecting what happened. At one point, I was laying on the table, and she lifted her hands over my body and she was just waving them in the air, not even touching me, and her hands were kind of far away from my body. And as she waved her hands, I felt as if I had opened an oven door and this blast of heat just came and started to fill my body up with energy. So it was this weird experience. And I also felt like I was on a roller coaster and I was going back and forth and swaying. And at one point I thought I was going to fly off the table. That's how crazy the energy shifting was. So Reiki is a great way to align yourself with the right kind of energy so that you can increase your psychic potential. I know after that session, I went to a psychic development class. I booked them back to back. So I scheduled the Reiki session, and then an hour later I was supposed to be in a psychic development class. And when I was in that class, not only did I have one of the most powerful experiences as far as sensing and using my psychic abilities that I'd had in a long time, but I began to understand some things about my own abilities and some of the things that I wish I had known that I'm teaching you in this class that helped me move forward and progress forward. So Reiki is a great way to align yourself with the right kind of energy, and then allowing that psychic ability to be used more effectively or efficiently. I think that having a strong spiritual center, having a strong religious set of religious beliefs, or even just having religious traditions that you participate in, certain kinds of rituals that you use. Even if you don't believe in religion, even if you're a Wiccan, or if you believe in magic, anything, if you have strong religious beliefs and ideas and you practice those and you do it in an attempt to align yourself with the right kind of energy, it's no different than praying or using affirmations. You are using tradition, you're using ritual, you're using action to facilitate, to reinforce your beliefs, your ideas, your intention. So it isn't a bad thing to have a religious affiliation, to have strong religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs. In my own understanding and in my own belief system, I've always visualized that I was surrounded by angels and that these angels would protect me and that they kept me from being harmed. On one particular occasion, I used to believe that I was surrounded by a circle of angels, and that whenever negativity would come forth or towards me, these angels would deflect or would move this negativity away from me. And on two separate occasions, I experienced not only the magnitude of what I was doing, but I also realized that I have a lot more power in my life than I realized. One day when I was a teenager, and I used to do this every day I would wake up, I would say my little affirmation, but I would visualize it as well, and I would believe these angels were around me in a circle, holding hands, protecting me and keeping me safe. So I went to school that morning, and as I was walking to school, I noticed this gentleman coming down the path that I was walking on, and he didn't really look very friendly. And as I began to get closer and closer, I started to feel funny things in my stomach, and I actually became very, very anxious and very excited and very worried and concerned. And there was nothing on the outside that was indicating this person was going to be of any threat to me, but I felt something wrong, something was off, something's not right with this. So in that moment of feeling that way, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what else to do. So I could have stopped. I could have probably walked in a different direction. I could have even maybe walked across the street or whatnot. But I honestly didn't really know what else to do except to affirm to myself what I did every morning, which is I called forth the angels to come and surround me in a circle of protection and to keep me safe from any negative energy or intent. As soon as I completed that process within myself, no kidding, this guy stops dead in his tracks. He starts to walk across the path. He walks into the street. He walks around me in a huge circle. And then he walked back onto the path, and then he kept going. So I was in complete shock. I didn't know what to make of that. I didn't know. In the moment, I was taken back because I was like, I can't believe that just worked. And after that, I realized that I had a lot more power to call forth and intend good for myself and to align myself with good energy. And I experienced that phenomenon once more a few years later. And for me, that was a given. You know what? This works. The more you put into it, the more you believe it, the more it works. There's this little clip in the series Orange is the New Black. If you've ever seen it, it's an interesting series. If it's not, can be pretty graphic, but it's a great show nonetheless. And in one part, there's a woman who practices some sort of Cuban magic, and people are coming to her because they're wanting to change things in their lives in prison, and she says she can help them. So someone comes to her and says, what can I do? And so she gives them a stick, and they're like, a stick? What am I supposed to do with the stick? And she's like, honey, you can put as much faith into a stick, into a cross, or into a ring. It doesn't matter, because whatever you put your energy into is going to react. It's going to become activated by that energy. So it doesn't matter what you put energy into. And she gave her a stick. So it was an interesting clip, and I remembered that because I'm like, that is so true. So just having that religious practice, having that belief, having these ideas that what you put your energy into, what you put your thoughts into, what you believe works for you, will. This is why crystals work. This is why tarot cards can work. This is why there are so many tools for developing psychically that will work for you, because if you put the intention and the energy into it, then you are infusing and imbuing those tools with the ability to work for you. And it's the intention behind it that's working. So again, religious practice, a strong spiritual belief system will also help you to align with lighter and more positive energy. The last thing that I think will help you to protect yourself psychically, or protect yourself from energy, and I've covered several here. I've covered meditation, I've covered smudging, I've covered prayer and affirmation. Just simply asking to be protected, to saying a prayer that will align you with positive energy and will protect you from negative energy will work. Strong spiritual practices, Reiki and chakra therapies. But one of the most important, and I think one of the things that will benefit you, is by having physical reminders in your space or around you of the protection that you imbue, of that positive energy that you align yourself with. If you ever come to my space, you will notice that there's an angel on the steps of the front door. And many Catholic churches actually used to do something like this. They used to place gargoyles in all their cathedrals because they believed that the gargoyles were a symbolic representation of protecting those environments, those churches, from negative energy, and that they would alarm of any kind of shifting or any kind of attack from negative or evil spirits or forces. So in essence, I use the same technique. I put an angel at the foot of the stairs entering my space. And one of the reasons that I do that is because for me, angels represent power, represent light, represent positivity. So I place that at the entrance of my space, of my place, because I only want to attract and allow energy that is aligned with that. Not only for others, but for myself as well. I have to remind myself on a regular basis that I want to be aligned with positivity. I want to be aligned with good energy. And sometimes I forget. So I have to remind myself, and I have reminders all throughout my space, throughout my home. I have an angel above the little kitchen entranceway. I have crystals that I found in Santa Fe that for me represent being connected to the earth and also magnify energy. So I have those in a small area in my living room space. I have certain plants in certain areas. So I put reminders of positivity, of positive energy, all throughout my home. And when I see them, I automatically align myself with the energy. It's just a reminder of what I'm trying to encompass, what I'm trying to imbue. And for others who are coming to my space, they don't realize that they are also being affected by the same process. The moment that they encounter the angel, it's a moment where they align themselves with the positive energy. There's a mirror next to the front of my door, and I think it's on the left side of the door. And that is, for me, it's, mirrors reflect energy. So if you're negative and you encounter a reflection of yourself, I don't believe you'll stay. Negative energy does not like to face itself. It will go in the opposite direction. Positive energy just becomes more magnified. So the mirror is there. I did not realize that putting a mirror on the left side of the door represents something in feng shui that helps to increase or improve energy. So I did not know that, and I did that naturally. So you will become aligned with natural processes to protect yourself and to increase the energy that you want to be involved in. So these are some very important ways for you to develop your ability to protect yourself from psychic energies, because you don't want to be open to anything and everything. And I know sometimes in desperation, we can, put that out there, and then we end up dealing with situations or circumstances and don't know what we've just done. And there's a video I just did on YouTube. Check it out. It's on my YouTube channel, Fernando Marron, Psychic Medium. And it's about me being possessed by a spirit. Now, I will go more into possession and all of that, because I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to think it's other than what it is. The title sounds a lot scarier than it actually is. But watch the video, because you'll have an understanding of what I did when I was developing that invited in that experience. And then scared the bejesus out of me. But this is a great way for you to align yourself with positive energy, for you to have more positive experiences, and be able to protect yourself psychically.